Hi everyone, welcome to the Lakeview video podcast series, and I'm pleased today to be joined by Stephan Marion and Kito Holtzman with Clear Springs Ranch out of Aquilla? Aquilla, Texas. It's nice to have you both here.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, glad to be here.
We're interested in hearing more about the ranch and the programming that you all do there, but before we do that, I'd be interested in hearing more about your backgrounds. You're the executive director of the ranch, you do business development.
Correct.
So how did you all get into the field of addiction treatment?
You want to start, Stephan?
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, I was a long-term construction boilermaker and DJ for years in addiction. I ended up coming from Canada to Texas to get sober, and I ended up staying and managed sober houses, and then worked in admissions and RA, and then finally to this point. But there's just like a genuine happiness that comes from working in this field. It's, you know, kind of paying back which was given to me, and being able to help families is kind of more rewarding than you know, any of the other things I've ever done in my life. And so that's kind of what keeps me planted in this field today.
That's great. I feel the same way, by the way. I think that you're right. There's just a genuine joy that you get from working in this field. A lot of people wonder about that. They're like, how could you work with people? How could you work with people who have addiction and feel joy? So,
Absolutely.
So what's your story, Kito?
Well, I was in private practice for about 12 years, and I had a very successful large private practice in the Rio Grande Valley in Texas. And I was afforded the opportunity by another treatment center to get into the industry. And at first I was like, there's no way it will ever work. You know, I couldn't imagine changing. But I went to work as a counselor at this place and eventually became clinical director, and then I got afforded this opportunity. But again, it was kind of like what Stephan was saying. Private practice was great, but you only see the clients once a week, and it's a little different. And to be able to do some deep level work and, you know, trauma work and all this other stuff, and see that magic that happens when a client comes in and they're beat up and just they look kind of shriveled up, and then when they have that light go on, and the magic that happens when you see them leave and they look actually 6 inches taller is just, you can't put a price on that. So I love what we do. I wouldn't do anything else, and it's a beautiful thing.
That's
it really
great.
is.
So talk to us a little bit about the ranch. It's located on a beautiful piece of property, obviously very serene. What are patients going to expect, or people going to expect when they arrive there?
Well, I went to treatment at a hospital at Castle Medical Center in Hawaii in the early 80s, and it was just like you were in a psych ward. And I always said, when I was in private practice, I said, I've got to open a treatment center one day on a ranch, or you know, somewhere where it's serene and it's a good place to recover. The hospital didn't take that time, of course, but just the serene setting, it's a wonderful place to recover. It's 200 acres, and there's lakes, and the clients can go fishing and go hiking and walking around, and it's just gorgeous. It's a great place to go recover. You want to add anything to that, Stephan?
Like, just the general feel when you walk onto the campus, like, let you know it's a special place, and like, you know, there's just like a certain energy to our campus, and it's calming.
Is it a mixed gendered program, or is it gender specific?
It's mixed gender right now. We actually broke ground this week on a women's center on the other side of the property, so we're very excited about that. It's
very exciting.
Finally coming to fruition, so sometime early next year.
And how long do clients typically stay there? What's the length of stay?
30 to 45 days.
Okay. And you're doing primarily cognitive behavioral therapy. What types of therapy are you doing with your clients there?
We meet them where they are. We do use EMDR for trauma. We may not be able to clear all their targets, but we'll clear, you know, maybe one or two while they're with us. And we do CBT, DBT, you know, whatever is appropriate for that client. All our clinicians are chameleons, and they kind of adapt to whatever the client needs. So I wouldn't say we have one model that we use for everybody as far as clinically. Now, we are a 12-step immersion program, and everyone that comes through our program will go through the steps, and usually they leave with some amends that they're going to be making. They've learned how to make an amends, and they are well versed in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, if they're not, like if they're totally opposed to a higher power and anything like that, you know, I'll usually talk to them, or Stephan will talk to them, or one of our other clinicians who was opposed to the 12-step program will talk to them. And there's some other resources out there that are non-theistic 12-step, and they're a little Eastern. They have an Eastern slant to them, but they work wonderfully. So we are 12-step immersion, and pretty much everyone that goes through will have a 12-step experience.
Well, it sounds great. So if somebody who's watching today wanted to access services at the ranch, how could they get in touch with you all?
They can call us on our 800 number, which is 877-THE-RANCH, or they can go to our website, which is www.clearspringsranch.com. Yeah, we have people answering the phones 24 hours a day.
That's great.
So.
Very good. Well, thank you both for taking the time to visit with us today. For those of you that are interested in learning more about Lakeview Health, we invite you to visit us at lakeviewhealth.com. Or if you know someone who needs treatment right away, feel free to give us a call at 866-887-0142.